Good morning, traders. It is Thursday, the 2nd of July, 2015, 8:01 a.m. Chicago time. It is non-farm payrolls Thursday. Tomorrow's a holiday. We have 4th of July, Independence Day weekend here in the U.S., and the markets will be closed. The cash markets will be closed. The pits will be closed tomorrow, and the electronic will be closing at 12 o'clock, depending on the market. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Overnight news, very light. The main item is that the Swedish central bank, the Riksbank, cuts interest rates further into negative territory, expands its QE program. Trading overall last night has been fairly muted. Cautious ahead of Sunday's Greek referendum and putting a lid on risk appetite. The Greek finance minister says he will resign if there's a yes vote on Sunday on the referendum. The most recent poll suggests that the yes camp is leading. The non-farm payrolls numbers came out just about a half hour ago. June unemployment rate came in at 5.3% versus 5.4%. Non-farm payrolls came in at 223,000 versus 233,000 expected. Change in private payrolls, 223,000 versus 225,000. At the same time, initial jobless claims came in at 281,000 versus 270,000, slightly worse. June's average hourly earnings, month on month, 0%. Versus expected rise of 0.2%, 2% year on year versus expected rise of 2.3%. Since then, not much has happened. It's been a fairly quiet session, mostly. We'll look at the technicals in a minute. As far as what's ahead of us, not much. We have ISM New York at 8:45 Central. Previous numbers 54. We have natural gas at 9:30. The expectation of 70 billion cubic feet, and then we have at noon we have the Baker Hughes rig count. As far as speakers, Draghi's expected to speak at 10:10 Central. That's 11:10 Eastern. Draghi, Visco, Mersch speaking in Milan. As far as the supply data, auction data, 10 o'clock, we're looking for a size announcement on a 3-year, 10-year, and 30-year. That's really what's on deck for today. Let's look at the technical picture here. Overall, yesterday, we were looking for two ideas yesterday. The two main ideas were that the market opens out of range, tests down, and bounces up. And I gave you a target up top, a big target up top, which was 2092 if there is news, 2084 if there isn't. Pipo 1 also included the potential for a push deeper into Tuesday's range, and then for it to chop its way up. Hypo 2 was was exactly what happened yesterday. Chop, 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 falls in, retests the overnight, the prior day's high, and then starts to walk its way down to 57 and potentially 54.50. Didn't quite get there, but Hypo 2 played out more than Hypo 1. The market ended up taking this strong push up into the close, and we're holding that overnight. You can see the overnight lows right here at 2067.75, overnight high at 2079, including the NFP. But there was some pretty strong buying on the close yesterday, leaving a small tail behind an excess behind at the low. So when we look at how this profile is shaped, we see that there's consensus on pricing in the middle, a secondary HVN, and then it breaks down, and then we have an excess. This is what we call an excess. This is a fairly strong, not perfect but fairly strong low, with volume basically cutting off at the bottom. So we're looking for strength on that low. The expectation is it's not likely to revisit that low in the next few days. Of course, a lot depends on the referendum this weekend. So there's a lot that could take place on Sunday. Sunday night should be an interesting trade. That's what happened yesterday. Overall, the market hasn't really accomplished anything. It has rotated about itself. You could see here we're in a balance environment. We have 3 days that are overlapping each other, and so there's a micro composite that I created yesterday that encompasses these 3 days. I'll show you that in a second here, but overall we're still in this large balance zone with 2093.75 the main target above. So yesterday I looked at a micro composite. I actually drew one that's was around here, and I showed that this region here, this zone of prices, has 3 distinct acceptance zones. There's one, and there's the second, and then there's a small one up top. And yesterday essentially tested the LVN here at 74.50, and then it also tested the LVN down here in the 60.75. So what yesterday did essentially is it traded this middle zone. What I was looking for yesterday, was what I was hoping for, is for it to reject this LVN on the way down, bounce up to the mid, right here, as it did, bounce up to the mid, come down, bounce up to a lower mid, and then break through. I was looking for it to break through and start moving into this next high volume area right here. Looking for it to trade this area. And if it did, then we're looking for that target of 57.50 and 54.50. It didn't. It bounced off of this LVN here and turn back up, leaving us stuck in this middle zone of the microcomposite. This is why we draw microcomposite, so we can see what acceptance and rejection areas there are, and what the market's seeking to do. Today, if we push through the 74.50 area and we're not able to fall back into this lower high volume node area, this belly here, then chances are we'll continue to push higher. We'll continue to drift higher into 83.25. I don't think that's going to happen today. I think we're likely to get stuck in the same area. I think today's zones will probably be something like this. Remember that tomorrow's off. A lot of people are going to take off early today. A lot of corporations actually are working a half day Thursday. I'm expecting the trade to go dead very, very quickly. The major numbers behind us, and we'll look at that here. We'll look at what we did on the overnight session with the non-farm payrolls. The overnight session overall, not much action here, and the non-farm payroll number didn't really engage too many risk seekers here. So this is the main move on a non-farm. It pulled back, chopped, made a higher high by 2 ticks, and has now returned to the scene of the crime, which is right here, right at the point of control. So not much of an effect on the non-farm payroll. This is likely to be a non-event Thursday. Because the Eurogroup and Greece have basically broke off, and there's not much that is left to discuss right now, I'm not expecting much in the way of news. It's very important to recognize that it is a long weekend with a strong piece of news coming out. It is not smart, in my opinion, unless you're a swing trader or have options on or something. If you're a day trader, it's not smart to carry a position into the weekend. Make sure you're properly margined and have closed out your position going into this weekend. It's an extended, a long weekend tomorrow. The European markets are open. Anything can happen. They're open in a normal session, whereas the U.S. markets are closing early. So it's the added measure of risk is generally not worth it. But of course, I'm not here to tell you how to trade. I'm just sharing my advice, my opinion with you. But unless you have your risk hedged somehow, it just makes sense to make sure that if you're in a big loss or you've been nursing a loser for a few days or something, it's probably a good idea to shut it off and go into the weekend with a clean slate. Again, we'll treat Thursday like Friday. We're expecting it to be fairly choppy. It's not a great day to take on additional risk and to fade a market because it's likely to go dead very quickly. Market's now dropping. We're dropping below the mid, and we're moving into this thin zone here back into yesterday's range. It looks like it'll be a very choppy open. So my primary hypothesis for today is it hasn't really changed. We're likely to fight. Let's extend this. We're likely to fight this upper range in an open auction in range type opening. I expect us to tag the yesterday's close at 71. We may retest the 74.50, but overall I expect us to be stuck in this range here for the day. That gives us approximately 6-7 points in range to work with today. I don't expect too much more than that. I'll leave you with that. Next Thursday, we've moved the Ask a Question or AMA from Friday to Thursday, as more people are able to attend on Thursday. Next Thursday, which is the 9th, there's an open AMA that I'll be hosting. I'll send the link for that out during the week. Look for a tweet on that. I welcome your attendance during these AMAs. I take an hour and a half to just take questions and answer whatever questions there are, or to pick a topic that is a common to everyone and to discuss it and maybe help share some of my experience with you and help you improve your trading. Good luck today. Have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe, and I'll catch you on Monday. Take care.